Tartarus by Riot and more, an experience I started a year ago, so unbelievably unique, resulting in my hardest completion. Tartarus, in its glory as one of the most iconic milestone demons in the game's history, is a level I can now say I have completed, and I am so proud to call it my hardest demon. Before I show the completion video, I would like to go through all the parts and talk about my experience with each of them, give you guys a grasp of what playing this level truly feels like, because that is the only way for me to emphasize how ruthless this level can be at times. The pre-drop. What I believe to be the second hardest part was what led to how boring playing Tartarus was from zero, how grueling it was. I did the first jump differently to usual. There's a visual cue right here where if you jump and hold you get extra height and more of a timing window to do the jump. So overall I didn't struggle with this click, it actually got super consistent by the end of my playtime. But then there's the 3% blue orb. I died to this blue orb 4,734 times. It really does kill your consistency and your prospect on getting a drop attempt, although, like 1%, this got somewhat consistent with time. Now, this next ship part is incredibly awkward and I found myself dying here a lot, along with the cube jump afterwards. The spikes are slightly misaligned, so it is possible for you to get past the mini spike and die to the other big spike, which got quite annoying after a while. The 8% ship, also quite irritating, but rather easy all things considered. Transitioning into the straight fly could prove difficult at times, and I would lose control in the ship every now and again, but deaths here were few and far between. Now, this UFO, what a shit part! Depending on how you transition out of the straight fly, your alignment will be different, and you need to react to where your UFO ends up after the first click. Sometimes you go up really fast and hit the roof, and you can also do the opposite. I died here a lot, and it killed a very large amount of my drop attempts. I know most people don't actually struggle all that much with the UFO, but it was the only part in the pre-drop that I really couldn't get down completely. I would die here way too many times considering the level hasn't even really started yet. There's not really much to say about the memory, it's very easy. I would basically never die here, although sometimes I would fuck it up. The orb clicks aren't buffers or anything, just really lenient timings, so once in a blue moon I would get complicit in my ability to do this part and just mess up due to a lack of concentration. But now, what is, by far, probably the most difficult part in any demon I have ever played. I would lose consistency at the beginning of the ship and mind block it at random intervals, which proved irritating, but the ship doesn't get difficult until the infamous 31% choke point. The way this part works is purely setup and alignment based. The 31 click starts here, you need to hit your head on the roof to get the perfect alignment on an invisible orb, which will hopefully give you the right trajectory for this portal. You need to let go just at the right time as you hit the blue portal and then correct your alignment to enter fixed hitbox straight fly. This didn't really get consistent at all. I would have bursts of it where I could randomly just do it multiple times in a row, but these were incredibly rare. I did 23 to 100 4 times and ended up beating the level backwards after practicing this dropship. 31 is exactly why dying to silly things before the infamous choke point was so irritating, because I needed to maximise my attempts here to hopefully pass it. I died to this 1% on the level 527 times. And after you pass 31, you still are far from out of the trenches. The wave that follows is incredibly difficult and a choke point in and of itself, although not as much as 31 was. You often get misaligned by how you transitioned out of the ship, and I would die in very silly ways here many times. This single wave click is one of the hardest clicks in the level, and depending on how you do this, you're aligned completely differently for these two mini wave clicks. And now we're on to comps part. We are still in the difficulty spike of the level here, I would say, since this part has a multitude of choke points itself, namely this ball click at 37%. I would die here a lot, and since I have passed what is the majority of the level's difficulty, it was just so demotivating that it might take me 10 more minutes to get back here. I would also die to the 38 ship click, which is just bad gameplay design. It's very difficult to gauge whether you hold too much or too little here, very inconsistent. And now for the next major choke point of the level, end levels part. This part is really unforgiving. These 43 and 45% cube timings were incredibly difficult and never really got consistent. The way you do the infamous choke point straight fly at 45% is entirely dependent on how you hit this yellow orb. You don't want to hit it too early because you are too low in the straight fly, for example. And then there is the straight fly itself. It looks very open, however the actual difficulty of this straight fly is invisible. It's much tighter than it looks. I got quite good at it, but But yes, a very, very hard choke point thanks to the fixed hitboxes. Now, passing 46 meant I had a pretty okay chance of beating the level. Out of 20,000 attempts from 0, only 100 of them got past 46. That just shows how unbalanced the level truly is. The swing copter had many inconsistencies itself. I would often die to this impossible swing copter timing at 48, and would miss a line at 49 in the spam. The swing copter is very easy from here until the very end, but the last 3 clicks were very difficult. I died to 48% 15 times, 49% 16 times, and 52% 18 times. Now for this UFO. This part is so easy to get mind blocked on. I died here way too many times. The part is largely blind, and it's pure muscle memory. The 55 timing here and the 56 timing here were incredibly difficult for me, and I did struggle with this part considering it is one of the easiest by far. The ball in this part is largely very easy, but I did choke a few attempts to it. This next part is a true test of your nerves now. The whole tonal shift of the song is asking you if you're nervous or not yet, and for 90% of my time playing the level, I was. This part is inconsistent and difficult to read. I died here many times. The wave at 62 was a big choke point for me, very weird transition into it, and how you do it depends on your height. Any deaths in this part were very defeating. I felt like I could have gotten an attempt at the second drop, where the difficulty drops drastically, and hopefully beat the level, but I choked to easy gameplay. This experience was incredibly common with Tartarus because of its nature of its choke points and its balancing. And now we come to the second drop. I only had 16 attempts here, and the gameplay is, for the most part, very easy. I died to this ball once, which was a choke, and this wave once. I died to the 72% straight fly twice, and this very difficult 73% cube jump 3 times. These infamous frame-perfect ball clicks at 75% were surprisingly consistent for me. I only died to these 2 timings alone 3 times. And past here is when I began to overthink. When you pass 75, that really is the end of all the choke points. You just need to keep your cool now. Don't choke to the ending or mess up to something easy. All that's left are clicks or sections that are possible to die to, but not very difficult. This 77% ship transition is chokeable, although I never died here. Along with this straight fly at 80%, it is incredibly tight at the end of it. 81% is also one of those choke points. I didn't die to it from 0, instead I died to this cube jump rather than the actually difficult one, which was infuriating, but a good new best at the time. Where the song ramps up after this ball part is really when you start to get nervous. The song pitch shifts and you really feel like it's the end. I'm surprised I didn't die to this ship more than once, especially with nerves it is very difficult. I choked to the end of it 1 time and ended up dying to the cube after, since it is transition based. And now this is it. The small cutscene really does a good job of asking whether you're ready to finish the level, getting your nerves up, especially considering the gameplay you're about to do is much harder than the past 50% of the level. I died to 91%, I died to this triple spike twice, and now for the infamous ending choke points. You have no idea how consistent I was at these last clicks, but when you are nervous they are just almost impossible. I died to both 97% and 98%, both were, as you can imagine, incredibly demotivating and upsetting for me, but nevertheless, I managed to pull through and finish the level. I truly can't emphasize just how difficult this level is on a mental standpoint. It's probably one of the most difficult mental challenges I've ever had to endure, and I love it for that. If you want to create a truly terrifying level, make it miserable, make it terrible, make it so it isn't enjoyable. Tartarus is an amazing level precisely because of its problems, and most of you watching will never get to understand that feeling of getting to the ending from 0, and choking at the very end, having to spend a whole week just to get back there. Thank you to everyone who has supported me, my friends, and I can proudly present to you my completion of Tartarus by Riot and more. Oh my fucking god.
Come on. Shut it at the apple farm, cheese. With the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the flow. Next thing you know, she got low. Her back is wet, and the Reebok with the strap.
beat Tartarus! Oh my god, I beat Tartarus!
GG.
Bro, what is going on?
I just beat
I know you
Tartarus.
do
What the
it.
fuck
I
is
know you
going
do
on?
it.
What?
I actually just
GG,
beat Tartarus.
baby.
Two
I get to
new
make
hard
another
in one
thing.
day.
Finally, bro.
GG
Oh my
Poopy.
god. G fucking G.
What the fuck is this day? Okay, let me
Bro,
log
I
in on
actually got
Unknown.
past the 98 click.
I should log in now.
71,157 attempts.
What the fuck are we doing, guys?
Wait, you beat Tartarus?
I beat Tartarus.
You
Literally
beat
right now.
Tartarus. Bro.
You beat the sauce!